In today's video, we'll see beautiful hooded mergansers at the Tennessee Riverpark Curtain Pole Road Pond. Good morning, how you doing? It's Phil Thatch, and today I'm back at Tennessee Riverpark Curtain Pole Road Pond, and I've come here today looking just like last time and many times when I come here. I've come here today looking for hooded merganser ducks, and there are some here this morning, so that's great news. The bad news is they are at the very back of the pond, which is probably 100 feet away, so it's kind of tricky to make a shot. There's also some northern shovelers over here, a great blue heron, and just like when Heather and I were here a couple of weeks ago, there's some ringneck ducks. So lots of interesting waterfowl, but also over here there are cedar waxwing and ruby-crowned kinglets and all sorts of cool stuff. Good morning. So lots and lots of stuff to photograph, and so far I've been working kind of on trying to catch one of the cedar waxwings that are eating these privet berries, and they haven't gotten into a spot where I can get a shot yet, but maybe I'll get one. But so far all I've gotten is a white-throated sparrow and an American robin. I started out using the 100 to 500 lens on the R7, and this is the white-throated sparrow that I got a pretty decent photograph of, and this one has the tan stripes instead of the white stripes. And here is an American robin. This is in a privet bush trying to eat some berries, and I'm not sure if you can see it up at the top in the background. There's a cedar waxwing that I really wanted to get a shot of, but I never did. This little concrete path by the Curtain Pole Road Pond is really fantastic, because over here on this side, as you can see, there's a constant thicket, and over here on this side there's the pond, so I can kind of concentrate on the birds over here until the ducks get close, and then shift gears and work on the ducks. I can't believe how close I got to this tiny ruby-crowned kinglet, one of my favorite little birds. Here's a 100% crop of it, just amazing. This bird is about the size of your thumb, and with the 500 millimeter lens and the close minimum focus distance, I was able to really get a detailed shot of it. But I think my favorite shot of the ruby-crowned kinglet from this particular morning was this one. Super cute little bird, and on this one I cropped it to 4x5 and shared it on some of my social media, so you may have already seen it. And here is a northern cardinal walking across the path. I thought he was trying to imitate the Beatles' Abbey Road album if it was only one musician. And then here is a song sparrow. This is over in the pond. They like to bounce around on the deadfall that's in the pond, and I thought this was a beautiful shot of the song sparrow. Not having too much luck with the ducks. They're still staying way over about as far away as you can be. But I did bring the 800 millimeter lens, which on this crop sensor camera can be pretty powerful. I did go ahead and switch to the 800 f11 to try to get those ducks all the way across the pond, but they're so small and it's so far. It's not really a limitation of the lens, it's just there's so much atmosphere to shoot through that you can't get a really sharp shot from that distance, or I can anyway. I did make a video clip though of the great blue heron that hangs around here all the way across that I thought turned out pretty good, and maybe a photo or two. I really enjoy photographing this lone great blue heron that hangs around there at the Curtain Pole Road Pond. Just a beautiful bird, as they always are, but it's nice to photograph them in this environment. He stepped into a deeper part of the water and raised his wings up to keep them dry. Now here are a couple of video clips, and you can see the great blue heron walking around. It's kind of looking for a place to stand and fish, I believe. And I always think it's interesting, these wading birds, the way their knees go backwards from the way human knees go. To watch them walk is kind of fascinating to me. So I did make a couple of video clips of the beautiful great blue heron there at Curtain Pole Road as he or she walked around and looked for a good place to do its fishing. They are great fishermen. I just saw what I think is a female Gadwall, and she came swimming by a lot closer than the other ducks, only maybe 2/3 of the way across. maybe even halfway across, probably 2/3 of the way across it, and I made a video clip of her. Here is the female Gadwall as she was swimming around there at the Curtin Pole Road Pond area. And interestingly, I didn't see any male Gadwalls. Here's a still image I made of her during that same swim by. And that was the only time I saw her this morning, just that one little swim by. I don't know where she went. I went ahead and made another photograph of possibly the same or maybe a different song sparrow. It almost looks like sky in the background, but that's water with the sky reflected on it. And here is a northern shoveler. This is a male northern shoveler, and it was swimming around there at the Curtin Pole Road Pond and doing some dabbling. Here's a video clip I made of the male northern shoveler. There was a female around as well, but they are less remarkably colored than the males. But it's always fun to watch them, and they are really cool looking ducks. I finally got, I didn't get a photograph, I got a video clip of the Hooded Mergansers. There's actually two pairs, there's two males and two females, and they're only about 3/4 or maybe 4/5 of the way across the pond now. And most of the morning they've had their hoods laid back, which is not what you look for when you're trying to photograph or make a video clip of these. But for whatever reason, they had their hoods up and they were doing their little bobbing and extending their necks, and I got a video clip of it. Check it out. Okay, we'll start out with a couple of photos I made. This is a female Hooded Merganser, and I love this shot because she's kind of standing on a log, and you can see how much rotundness there is on a Merganser underwater. Here is a male on the right and a female on the left as they were swimming there at Curtin Pole Road Pond, and it's always awesome to get their hoods up, as you can see in the male on the right. Now the female hood will go up like that as well. It's not multicolored like that, but she has hers mostly laid back. And now here is the video clip that I made of a couple of males swimming around. You can see a female there in the background, but all those little displays with sticking their head out, and sometimes they rock back just like that. That's kind of a breeding courtship display that you're seeing there. And I made this video clip of these two as they kind of swam around, and in just a moment they're going to swim back up towards us and do a little bit more of their displays. There's the male and the female northern shoveler in the foreground, but I still have my focus on the Hooded Mergansers because they're the stars of the show. But here they come, and they'll do their extended neck again here in a moment, I believe, as the northern shoveler goes by in the background. Look at them with their hoods up. I just love that. They're nowhere near as amazing looking when their hoods are flat. Here we go. Extend the neck, and then they'll do the backwards rock, which I've seen them do that display, and then not long after, one of the males would be mating with one of the females. So that's definitely a courtship display, I believe, that those two males are practicing. Well, the 800mm lens was definitely the way to go in terms of getting the ducks in the frame so far away in the back of this pond. Another photographer came up, and with two of us there, that would make it even more likely for the ducks to stay at the back of the pond. So I decided to call it a morning. I sure do appreciate you joining me here at Tennessee Riverpark, Curtin Pole Road Pond area. Listen to all those trains at the switch yard there in the distance. You hear that the whole time you're here. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me. If you like the content, please give me a thumbs up, maybe subscribe, and hit the bell if you want to see some more. And as always, I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye from Tennessee Riverpark, Curtin Pole Road.